and countryman rep from doing it a second term. She's doing a second term, so fairly senior in party organization and also in parliament. So the other members will be coming. We took a decision that during these stakeholder consultations, we don't have to strictly apply the our own rules with regard to quorum. So I think you should continue in the interest of time, and therefore over to you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, Dr. Kalonzo Musyoka. I am Irungo Houghton. I serve as Amnesty International Kenya's Executive Director, and with me on my left is Ramadan Rajab, Senior Campaign Officer on issues of civic freedoms and civil liberties. And on my right is our researcher, our country researcher, Benta Mwege. We start by really extending our best wishes to this process, to the committee, and also our gratitude for the opportunity to come before you and to speak on a singular issue, noting that there may be many issues that we could engage you on. To the members of the committee, allow us to just frame who you are for us, which essentially is the custodians of the Constitution at this time. Much of the discussions that you will have leave us with no doubt that on your shoulders lie several of our constitutional freedoms and the fundamental rights that are in our Constitution. And your wisdom at a time like this can actually take the country several steps forward or plunge us back to the chaos that we saw in the earlier part of the year. Allow me to address a single issue, which is security sector reform and policing. As you are all no doubt aware, and several of you I've worked with as far back as the post-election violence, the issue of security sector reform, peace and stability has been a troubled culture for us for many years. With the 2010 Constitution, we saw a massive step forward in terms of the separation of investigations, prosecution, and judicial processes. We also saw the establishment of an independent policing service, and that service was pronounced as a service and not as a police force that came to our shores as a colonial occupying institution several years before that. We will address ourselves to the issues that we have shared in our memo of September the 7th, and I do hope that members of the committee have got them. The press has sensationalized the budget for this committee, so we have brought extra copies for the committee just in case those sensational allegations are true. So I'll invite Benta if you can just circulate the documentation that forms the basis of our intervention this morning. It is opportune, perhaps, that we are now looking at the issue of our police service being exported to Haiti, and the issue of the quality of the policing.
You must have heard me, Mr. Irungo, before you. So continue, please continue.
Okay, sorry.
Just ignore the chair's intervention and proceed.
The possibility of 1,000 police officers traveling to Haiti within a few months brings the presentation that we're about to make into, I think, an important moment. That we should be discussing the quality of our policing and the accountability of the policing at a time like this is critical. As those officers go to Haiti, the international world, the international attention will be on Kenyan police officers. We also, as Amnesty, would caution that they are going into a very volatile situation, and that as much as we are concerned about the quality of policing at this point, it is also important that we note that they need to be kept safe. So it is in that context that we will make the following points and recommendations. It is sad in some ways that the contingent of police were not being deployed in 2022, because in that year we saw what was probably the best example of what it is like to have a police service that can maintain law and order during elections. with a number of human rights organizations, tens of dialogues and workshops